Welcome back to Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
And I'm Ash.
If you had a superpower, Ash, what do you think it would be?
The ability to control seminal fluid.
What would you do with that power?
I would control seminal fluid. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Like Ant-Man, would you accomplish tasks with it? Or would you just like put on a puppet show?
Seriously, if I had a superpower, I'd either go for something like immortality, because I'd love to live forever, see all the new technology and shit.
Yeah.
Or like something like Dr. Manhattan, without the cancer giving shit. Because he is both immortal, but he's all like he has control over like science, basically.
Yeah.
I'd love to go just live on the moon, make my own little fortress, or like Mars, and then never come back to Earth.
Yeah. Or Antarctica. Build a fortress there.
I don't want to be Superman. That's ridiculous.
No, Superman.
I mean, I'd love to be that. Like, just he's so obviously super. As like the name implies, but he can't basically die unless he gets stabbed by like a green fucking rock, which is a stupid
from his own planet.
From his own planet.
So
I'm sure they explain that with like, oh, he's acclimatized to the fucking Earth's atmosphere, but it's like, what? Shut up.
Okay.
But yeah, he can't fucking basically die unless you stab him with a green rock, which is pretty fucking rare. He can fly, he can shoot fucking lasers, he has like icy breath.
The green rock, which is pretty fucking
pretty fucking rare.
Pretty fucking rare, but every villain seems to be able to find some whenever necessary.
Yeah. He would just like, he woke up in the morning. You know when you get crumbs in your bed and you don't understand why? And it's like, oh, this is kryptonite crumbs. Just throws it in his eye.
Salt bays him.
Salt bays Superman.
Kryptonite granules.
Yeah, I don't like Superman. He's too impenetrable.
He's so boring.
I would penetrate the shit out of Superman.
With your kryptonite dick.
With my kryptonite dick.
It
does look green sometimes.
Do you think he has like a anti-rape, like anti-butt rape superpower, and the only way to get in is with the kryptonite dildo or something?
Red underpants.
Kryptonite condom.
His red underpants are just like made out of adamantium or something. Not tearing these bad boys off me. So yeah, I like either immortality or like the complete control over science or like all things, because like science is everything.
Yeah.
Something like that. I know it seems a bit OP, but if I had to choose the lesser one, it'd obviously be immortality.
Mm-hmm. I think if you were to be the first person to get a superpower, like nobody else had a superpower, and you weren't too careful about people finding out, and obviously probably not our government, but maybe the American government were like, oh shit, we need to weaponize that. And they capture you. I think having immortality is probably the best way to survive that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think immortality as well. I probably would have thought of something more creative, but when you said being alive to experience upcoming technology, because that's like the most depressing thing for me about being mortal is that we'll miss out on so much technology.
I'd love to see where like humanity reaches out to it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We're not going to stay on Earth forever. We're going to branch out eventually. I'd love to be able to see where it goes.
Yeah,
but like
really cool.
The like Deadpool's level of immortality, where there was a comic, which would be more accurate, like Wolverine's level, because it got his immortality from like, was it Wolverine? Yeah, because they ran experiments.
Well, obviously every origin story has 19 versions, but one of them is they got the
there was
same abilities.
Whichever was the origin for, there was a comic series where Deadpool was like fucking incinerated, like absolutely destroyed 100%. Well, like 99.9999%. The only thing that survived was like a very small drop of blood. And he managed to like reform his entire body from that drop of blood.
Yeah.
So like that level of immortality.
Yeah, that would definitely. Just being able to, I don't know, go underwater and not drown and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, just be able to like shrug off a shit ton of bullets or an explosion.
Yeah,
because you could do anything then. You could like join wars for the side you want to win, and you'd be like a fucking super soldier.
Yeah.
You could like literally be one man army.
You don't have to worry about time either.
Yeah,
because I don't know. I feel like time is a big burden on my life. Not having enough time to do things.
Without sounding too deep and philosophical, like time is humanity's biggest enemy.
Yeah,
and being immortal is just like overcoming that.
Yeah, definitely. I recently watched The Defenders. with Candice. It was quite good.
Is that with what was it, Jessica Jones,
Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil.
Daredevil.
And yeah, it was quite good. I watched Daredevil. In fact, I watched them all as they came out. I think the most boring one was probably Iron Fist, which is a shame because I actually really like Iron Fist in the comics and shit. So
not too familiar with Iron Fist. I watched the Jessica Jones.
Well, just because I begged you to watch it.
You begged me to watch it.
That's probably my favourite series of any show ever.
We started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. I tried my hardest to persevere with that.
I knew within like the first half of the first episode that I wasn't going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We watched a few episodes together, and I just dropped it right there and then because I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
It was just too, like, generic TV show, you know, like Supernatural and all those vampire shows that came out where the entire cast is just eye candy, and it was just a bit too much like
the elite hacker is this super hot fucking female that's also got a social life and she's very street. Yeah, it's like I know it's a cliche that
everyone falls in love with each other and they drag out the love stories way too long. It's
a cliche that like hackers and just computer literate people are fucking complete nerds and live in the basement and stuff like that. But I mean, like going from real life, that's pretty much like accurate.
Yeah.
It's not 100%. There's a bit of leeway, but it's super unbelievable if like there's this super hot fucking supermodel who is also a hacker, but she's also not like a fucking recluse.
Do you know what I think of when you say hacker?
What?
The hacker weapons foundry in Destiny.
Yeah. I just think of Mr. Robot.
Yeah, Mr. Robot was a fantastic TV series.
Yeah.
Really good.
But we're planning on doing an episode of TV shows sometime in the future.
It's just in the air, at the moment.
So we'll save that discussion for then. Table it.
Boy.
Yeah, and then like the Agent Coulson came back in the first episode and they like just glossed over how it happened.
Well, it took them like 3 seasons or something to get to how it happened, which was pretty cool. I was into that, but
I've heard people say like it starts getting good around the end of season 2 and season 3. Well, that's just way too much time invested.
I think I stopped watching halfway through season 3, so
maybe it was later. Then it might have been in season 4 or something where it started getting good. But anyway, the point is like they said it was getting good after season 1 at some time, but it's too much time invested just to wait for it to get good. And then when the point where it's supposed to get good happens and it's still not good for you, it's too much time wasted.
Yeah. What really bothered me about it was the whole marketing campaign. They got the actors to like make videos where they were like, "Just bear with us. It's gonna get good. It's gonna get really good." And it's like, what? Yeah. Why is it not good now? How is that a viable marketing campaign to be like, we know it sucks, but just wait.
We know that the writing is absolutely fucking abysmal in these early episodes, but just hang on for the next 10 hours of your life.
I remember when some big event happened in the show, one of the actors made a video where they were like, "Told you it was going to get good." And I'm like, what? You can't just do that. Yeah.
I have this system where if a movie doesn't grab me, like within the first half hour, I mean, like, it's a bit vague on what can grab me. There's some movies where it's a really slow burn and I've managed to stick with it and I've really enjoyed it. But I think that's because there's something always subtle in the background that's really well done and it grabs you even though nothing's happening. Yeah. Like Game of Thrones season 1. First season is very slow. Yeah. But there was stuff going on that grabbed me and I carried on watching through it. Mm-hmm. And if a movie has nothing going for it in the first like half hour, I'll just fucking drop it. Mm-hmm. And I don't like dropping it because I'm a bit of a completionist.
Yeah, same. I can't really do that, even if it absolutely sucks. Yeah. Like, we watched the Death Note Netflix movie last night.
Oh my god.
And by all rights, we should have dropped it in like 10 minutes. Yeah. But just because we started watching it, we had to keep watching it.
If anyone's listening who was an original fan of the anime, or you haven't watched either the movie or the anime, don't watch the movie.
Ever.
Just stick with the anime.
Yeah.
It's really good. There's not many seasons, like 3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not very long.
It's really good though.
Because I remember the manga was only a few
about 10
books.
issues.
Yeah, something like that.
But the anime is just so clever. The movie was awful. Mm-hmm. We won't talk about that. Spoilers. We'll try to stick to superheroes.
Yeah.
Although
which is the theme, which we haven't mentioned yet, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious.
Light is a bit of a superhero to me. He did good. He did good by doing bad.
Yeah, in the anime, it was such a fucking puss in the movie.
They absolutely fucked it up in the movie. Such a pussy. But no, yeah, in the anime, there's no light without a dark, and Light was brilliantly well balanced. He was doing good, but it was achieving good through evil.
Yeah.
So he was a superhero to me. Yeah. I like anti-heroes like Deadpool.
They're always the best ones.
Wolverine's
kind of
is
there, I think.
He's more of a good hero, but with a bit of an anger issue.
Yeah, definitely.
And Logan was a fucking brilliant movie.
One of the best superhero movies ever.
It kind of pisses me off that they waited until the very last movie in his contract to make it R-rated with shit ton of gore and all that.
Well, I think Deadpool definitely opened the door for that, and then Logan sort of cemented that this is a good route to take for superhero films in the future.
I saw a lot of articles and stuff like that saying Logan's put its foot in the door of R-rated superhero movies, and now it's opening it up for everyone else.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was what about fucking Deadpool?
Literally, a fucking year ago. Do you not remember Deadpool?
Yeah. No, Deadpool was amazing.
Fucking love it.
Yeah. I must have seen that more than I've seen any other superhero film. Except maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. Which I wouldn't really call a superhero film, it just falls in that universe.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I could watch it over and over again, but not too many times, because it is a long movie. It's 2 hours long, 2.5 hours, or something like that. Which is it's getting really standard these days, that movies are 2 hours long and over.
Yeah, I remember when Lord of the Rings, I can't remember what it's called, the third one.
Yeah.
Something King.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that one came out, it was 3 hours long. And it was such a new thing, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, that's so long!"
Return of the King, that's mine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I went to see that at the cinema with my dad, and we got halfway through, and they paused the film so that everyone could take a piss break, and they had people come out with hot dogs and shit, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Hot dogs.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, that's what I liked about Deadpool as well. It was 1 minute, 1 hour 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long. It was, and I've watched that I don't know, maybe 50 times already.
It's really good. Just whenever you're not sure what to watch on Netflix, it's just always there, just coaxing you over to it.
No, yeah. Whenever I'm flicking through stuff trying to find something to watch, I'm like, no, I've seen it.
And then you just sort of give up and put Deadpool on.
Yeah, I've seen that. I could watch it now, but let's see if there's something else instead. And then you come across Deadpool, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah. I think if I spend more than 10 minutes tops looking for something on Netflix, I'll just go, Deadpool.
Yeah, usually my strategy as well. If I spend more than 10, 20 minutes looking for a movie,
20 minutes? Fuck me.
Yeah, it depends on how fast everything's running. If the internet's slow, which never is. So
not for you anyway. Yeah.
But if the OS is running slow or something's happening and it takes a bit longer, I'll just default back to a movie that I know I enjoy and I can watch over and over again.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Or like Fight Club, Inception, Sunshine, love that movie. But yeah, so I don't really default to a movie that's too long, because I've seen it, and after a while you just tune out. So Guardians of the Galaxy is off the table as a go-to movie, although I do really enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like it, but I would say I've only seen it about 4 or 5 times since it came out.
I think I've seen it about 3 times.
I don't want to overwatch it.
Yeah.
I like to preserve the joys of watching it.
It's smart because I used to do it when I was a kid. Me and my sister would watch movies over and over again.
Yeah, I used to do it as a kid, but only because my sister had control.
Yeah, I was in the exact same situation. My sister had control of all things we watched. So we'd watch everything she wanted to watch, and she loved repeating over and over and over again. Yeah. And then
we'd spend a whole weekend just watching the Black Cauldron back to back.
Yeah. Hocus Pocus for my sister, mate.
Mate, I'm glad I never had to watch that as a kid.
We'd watch it 5 times a day for weeks.
That is insane.
And then when it comes on, I'd go back and try watch it again. I'm like, wow, this is shit. I'm so fucking bored.
I remember coming to yours around Christmas time, and your mum would put Polar Express on and then just leave it on repeat on the TV for a week straight.
My mum, that was just you want a week, mate. My mum loves that movie, and whenever it's Christmas time, she gets in the mood of it.
As in November.
As in November.
By her standard.
So it'll constantly be on TV, repeating over and over again. Because it's on. We got it on DVD. Could buy obviously before Blu-rays even existed. And when you leave it on its menu for like 5 minutes, it'll just automatically replay.
Yeah.
And so it's on all day. I can't.
A couple of times it has been The Grinch as well.
Yeah, she switches up like not enough. But she does switch up. Fucking Polar Express. It's so creepy how it's all uncanny valley.
Yeah.
They're not human enough, but they kind of are. It's fucking disgusting, doesn't it? But yeah. My nephew watched Guardians of the Galaxy a lot.
Yeah.
So I've watched it like 3 times from beginning to end. But I've seen like 10 minutes here and there like hundreds of times.
Yeah. I saw the second one obviously when it came out. I only seen that once.
Same.
I pre-ordered the Blu-ray for my dad. Just because I just like to randomly buy him gifts on Amazon.
Yeah.
Because it'll be there and he'll be like, oh, I'm thinking of getting Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, 2 seconds. So I pre-ordered it and it came on Monday. So when I go to his next Saturday, we're going to watch it.
Yeah.
So that'll be the second time I watch it. So that's cool.
I think for me, like, superheroes are getting stale.
Yeah.
Just because it's oversaturated. There's like 1 or 2, maybe 3 major superhero movies every year now.
Yeah.
It started off with Iron Man.
Well, no. There was a long time pre-Iron Man where superhero movies just sucked. I think the only ones I actually enjoyed, but this was when I was a kid, and because I loved Spider-Man, was the Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like 1 and 2. 3 was, even when I was a kid, I was a bit cringe.
The less said about 3 in the whole walking down the street with jazz music and dark clothes and
flicking his fringe and...
Yeah, the less said about that, the better.
But yeah, then Iron Man happened. And I immediately fell in love with that.
Yeah, I remember
I was crazy about Iron Man for like 5 years straight.
Yeah. I remember watching the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies as a kid.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed them. I watched them a few times.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the first Iron Man where it like started the whole superhero craze.
Well, actually, I think it might have been Batman Begins that started it off. I think Batman Begins is a shit film, but people liked it because it was
I heard that a lot of people hated it.
Oh, well, anyway, that came out... I can't remember the year. Maybe 2005. But it was like a few years before Iron Man came out, and then Iron Man came out and gave the middle finger to DC. So
yeah, no, it's not the strongest Nolan North Batman movie. Batman Begins. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was okay. I haven't watched it.
Nolan North. Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. I've got such a hard on for Nolan North.
Yeah, I know. We might have mentioned him every episode so far.
Yeah, and this one.
Yep.
That's probably going to be the next one. We didn't mention him in the design one.
True.
There we go. So yeah, Christopher Nolan. It's not the strongest Christopher Nolan movie.
Yep.
But I did enjoy it. I've seen it like twice maybe since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if that started off. I don't think it generated that much of a buzz compared to Iron Man. Iron Man just like proper kicked up a fucking storm, and it was a good movie.
This was before Disney bought them out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure.
Well, at this time, in the same year, the second Incredible Hulk film came out, and I assume they were planning on having that being canon, because at the end of the film, there's a post-credit scene of Robert Downey Jr. talking to Bruce Banner.
In Iron Man?
No, at the end of Incredible Hulk.
Oh, the Incredible Hulk?
The second one.
I didn't see that. Is that the one where it was suddenly Edward Norton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I think they were planning to use him because in the Avengers, when you see Hulk, Bruce Banner for the first time, it does sort of vaguely pick up from the end of the Incredible Hulk film. Because I think he does go to be a doctor in some third world country, and then they go and pick him up from there. So
I like the Edward Norton Hulk movie more than I like the other one.
Well, yeah, but they both sucked.
They both sucked.
Yeah, but
I can watch the Edward Norton one more than I could watch the other one.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I didn't know that about that end scene.
It was crazy because in the Avengers, Hulk quickly became one of our favorite characters, and we're
Yeah, I think
like
just
even
because,
just when he's not Hulk and he's just Bruce Banner, he's just really charismatic.
yeah,
and,
I don't know if that's a credit to the writing or a credit to the actor because Mark Ruffalo's a fantastic actor.
yeah, brilliant. I've seen plenty of films with him in it since Avengers.
Now
and
You See
he's
Me
really good.
Was like
Yeah.
the movie we saw after the Avengers where we next saw him and he was really good in that as well.
Yeah,
But what he did before that was like rom-coms.
yeah. I've seen a few rom-coms with him in it, and they're not horrible. I've seen a few rom-coms since Avengers that he's been in, and they've been a lot better.
Yeah, because I remember seeing some news about how Hulk's going to be played by this famous rom-com actor.
Yeah,
And I was like, fuck off, a rom-com actor. But he turned out to be really good.
yeah, he's fantastic.
Surprises. Like, we didn't go in thinking that he's going to be good or that, you know, in fact, it was like, it's going to be bad. And it just surprised us so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we were taken to the Hulk so much.
Yeah, we were hoping for a Hulk movie, but now at the point where the story is, I'm kind of.
Thor Ragnarok's kind of looking like it's going to be kind of a Hulk movie.
But I think you can't focus a whole film on a Hulk. Because
no.
Especially not for the audience that it's targeted at. Because if they made a Hulk film that was targeted at me and you,
Yeah.
for example, it would be very psychological. Like, it would be all about Bruce Banner's struggle with like the voice in his head, which in the comics he has like a headspace where
It'd be more
talks with Hulk and
plot development and less action.
yeah, exactly. But that's not what the
No.
target audience wants.
They want
So
big
they wouldn't do that.
explosions.
So what they do is they make Bruce Banner part of other stories.
Yeah.
So that they can get the action from somewhere else and
Yeah.
still have
No,
his
'cause-
little internal.
I was going to say one of the
conflict.
reasons that made the first Iron Man movie so good was that he wasn't in his suit for like the whole movie.
Yeah,
He was just a douchebag billionaire making weapons at the beginning.
a lovable douchebag.
A lovable douchebag billionaire. And then he was kidnapped and he was in a fucking mine for months.
Yeah,
And then like halfway through, he's finally busted out. He's made his own fucking Iron Man suit, like a prototype.
out of bits of missile and shit.
Yeah, busted out, and then he don't even go straight to like kicking ass. He's rebuilding it again, and he's like making a 2.0.
Well, yeah, but it was sort of he got a bit shocked that he found out the enemy was using weapons that he invented, and he was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. If I'm going to make a weapon, then I want to have full control over it and make sure nobody's manipulating it, selling it to the other people.
Yeah, no, yeah, he wanted to make up for like all the shit,
Yeah.
the war that's happened because of his weapons and shit. But yeah, like it broke out. It goes back to fucking where is that? Like, has it got LA? Is that in LA? Where it's
I think
it's near the coast. So maybe, like the
I know
west
that
coast.
Stark Tower, or what becomes Avengers Tower, was in Manhattan. He was in Miami, in the one that shall not be named, but I don't know if that's always been where he's been based.
He has like a big house on the side of a cliff.
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's
It looks
Miami.
like a very sunny area, so I'm assuming it's like west coast, like California area. Or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, he goes back there and he rebuilds the the Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
And then he just starts being Iron Man, and that's like the first half of the movie is leading up to him being Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jebediah, Jeff Bridges,
Yeah.
fucking screws him over and has to beat shit out of him.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And that's what I really liked. He was because Iron Man's not just one character; it's two. It's Tony Stark and then Iron Man.
Mhm.
And I think the Iron Man that should not be named realized that Iron Man 2 was a bit stale because it was he was in a suit a lot in Iron Man 2. It was a good movie.
I really liked it, but mostly just for the acting. The guy who plays Hammer, whose name I can never remember,
Sam Rockwell.
He also did a film called Moon,
Sam Rockwell.
which is a really, really good
yeah,
film.
I'm telling you, it's Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
very
yeah,
good actor.
I'm not debating that anymore. But yeah, he's a really good actor. I like films that he's in.
he's a fucking fantastic actor.
I don't like Mickey Rourke though.
No, neither do I.
I want my bird. That was terrible. That was slightly French. Never
Better
mind.
than his.
I
I want my bird.
bird. No, it says bird where it's like bird, like
Bird.
Bird.
Bird. I want my bird.
I don't. Anyway, I didn't like him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Such an ugly guy.
yeah.
So ugly. Probably because he got punched in the face too many times.
Probably.
I think he used to be a boxer, didn't he? Mickey Rock.
I couldn't tell you. Can't say I've ever had the desire to follow his career.
Not a very good actor.
Yeah.
He's also kind of got the Stallone like speech impediment thing going on.
Also, can we mention that they swapped out the token black character in between movies?
Like just hoping no one noticed.
Yeah, like nobody had noticed.
Yeah, because it was it Cuba Gooding Jr. first?
I think so.
And then after that, it was... I forgot his name.
Okay, Google.
Okay, Google it.
Okay, Google. Oof. Phone's slow today. Okay, never mind. I'll just type... Oh, now she comes up. Who played War Machine? I should do it right.
Yeah, do it.
War Machine was played by Don Cheadle, Terrence
Cheadle.
Howard, Daniel Bacon, and others.
And others.
Terrence Howard? I don't know.
Yeah, Terrence Howard was
it Terrence Howard?
the first film. Don Cheadle, yeah.
Don Cheadle. I remember Don Cheadle. I can't remember his name, but... Was it... Yeah, Terrence Howard then, if that's where it says.
Yeah. Well, it showed a picture of him, and it's
It
definitely...
was a long time ago. I haven't seen Iron Man 1 that many times.
No, no, I ain't seen it for a very long time either.
But yeah, like they switched it out and just hope no one would notice.
Yeah.
I never really liked Rod. His name's Roddy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I never really liked his...
It's just a really
character.
bland character.
Yeah, I also didn't like how he just keeps trying to take the Iron Man off him. Like, Tony Stark made it. He doesn't belong to the US Army. But he was like, oh no, he does. It's a weapon, it's ours. And he's like, we're trying to take it off you. And I just hated the fact that he was always trying to push for him to give the weapon up. It's like, you're supposed to be his friend. Can you not just...
Yeah. Ooh. So, in the one that doesn't exist, the Iron Man that doesn't exist, the comics that it was based on are probably my absolute favourite graphic novel, because I had it as a graphic novel, ever. The story is brilliant.
I thought you liked the Civil War one. I thought that was your favourite.
No. It's cool. It's cool to see all these superheroes and villains fighting each other.
I really liked the Civil War one.
But yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It's what it's called in the film as well. The thing that they give them to give them superpowers, but they can overheat and explode.
Yeah.
That was a whole. There was a whole comic about that, and it was awesome. It was really, really good.
I think I may have read
and they really didn't do it justice, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I think I may have read that, to be honest. I don't seem to remember it.
Well, I will
You
let
probably
you
will
at
let
some
me,
point. So.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that. It feels like they understood that they need to take Tony Stark out of the suit, but then like they filled it with really bad humor, and this plot line just wasn't very good. The villain wasn't convincing. They fucked me over with the whole Mandarin thing.
Yeah.
That well pissed me off.
I wasn't as angry about it as everybody else was.
I was, because Ben Kingsley's a fucking brilliant actor. He would have done Mandarin. He would have done it so much justice. It would have been amazing. He would have been a good Mandarin.
Yeah.
But for him to be like halfway through, be like, "Oh no, I'm just a paid actor," and you know, I'm like, he's
drinking Stella and watching football.
Yeah, he's just a fucking dumb guy. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, on that front, I agree with you. But the other argument is that the Mandarin is so powerful in the comics, and I'm so disappointed he's not there in the film. But I mean, just learn to separate comics from the movie. I don't know. It's called the MCU for a reason. It's a separate universe, so that it can do its own thing.
Yeah. I also didn't like how Tony Stark turned into Oprah, and it was all like, "You get an iron suit, you get an iron suit, you get one," and fucking everyone was wearing one or something.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. It was very ridiculous.
Yeah, at the time I loved it, but just for the last 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah, like I didn't sympathise at all with a kid. Like that was a whole irrelevant segment for me. I don't give a shit about a kid.
Me and my girlfriend recently went through the films because she'd never watched them. And I can't remember. I think it started with she watched Deadpool and she thought it was hilarious, and then we watched Thor we watched Thor 2 at my dad's, and she was like, "Oh, that was awesome," and also had a lady boner for.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You mean she got a lady boner?
For what's his face, Chris
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Yeah. So after that, she was like, "Oh, I want to see the other Thor film." So I showed her the other Thor film, and then Avengers 1 and 2, and then I was like, "There isn't an Avengers 3, but there is," and it's Captain America. So the only ones we didn't watch were Captain America because
it sucks.
I don't buy into it.
What I heard about Captain America was there was a section kind of like in the middle of the movie where they had a montage of him kicking Nazi ass all around Europe.
Yeah.
And every single fucking shot in that scene was 10 times more interesting than what was actually going on in the entire movie.
Yeah.
I was like, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, they could have done the film about that bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting fact about Thor 2, by the way. Do you know, I think it's like right near the end of the movie, he's like making out with Natalie Portman. Mm-hmm. It's not actually Natalie Portman. Apparently, she couldn't make it back for the filming of that. So it turns out it's his wife.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's
that's pleasant.
He's making out with his wife. I didn't know that.
That's cool.
Yeah, very funny that. So yeah. What was he talking about? Other than the Thor movies?
Yeah, I got Candice to watch it. So because of that, I recently watched Iron Man, the one that shan't be named, shan't be numbered, and I found it quite funny watching it again. Just how he treated that kid like shit.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that humor, and it was really cringy humor. I think it wasn't very funny.
Fair enough. Shoot me down like that. It's fine.
And I didn't like the story.
No, I liked the original where the story came from, which didn't have Mandarin in it at all.
Yeah. But Iron Man 1 started this like superhero craze.
Yeah.
Then we got like a fucking Captain America movie, which sucked ass.
It's not good. Well, I guess people who like Captain America might like it, but I think Captain America is super boring.
No, yeah.
It's just he's got his only trait is that he's
super patriotic.
Yeah, like fuck off. And he's like, "Oh, I have to do the right thing all the time," and it's
but
like,
only for America.
Yeah, fuck off, mate.
No, yeah, I don't like how patriotic he is. I think patriotism is fine, right? But if you're too patriotic, it's just, what is the fucking point?
It's not relatable.
I can't feel...
Especially if you're not American as well.
I don't feel special because I was born in this section of land.
Yeah. No, I don't get that at all.
I don't feel special because I've got a British accent, you know? Yeah, I've got a Queen.
Yeah, and
fuck that.
There's such another tangent we could go on about racist people in this country who think they're better than anybody else because they were born here. And it's just not... it's not a nice place to be born, to be fair. It's a pretty shit place.
Yeah. So I can't relate to anyone who's just overly patriotic, and Captain America is that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has fucking the US flag everything in his apartment. He'll have the US flag bedding, US flag fucking boxes, all of it.
US flag socks.
Yeah. I bet when he rolls his toothpaste out, it comes out in the shape of the US flag.
His alarm clock goes off in the morning and plays the national anthem. And he's got Iron Man to rig his TV up to just have a waving flag every morning.
Yeah, like he's just really boring and patriotic, and he's a goody fucking two shoes.
Yeah.
He's always got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Even though his idea of the right thing is a bit skewed.
Well, this is the thing. When they did Civil War, and it was like Iron Man versus Captain America, they played it like Iron Man was a villain, and Captain America was this hero, and he was doing the right thing, and he was going against the system and all this other shit. But I couldn't get into that, and it's not just because I preferred Iron Man as a character. It's just he was doing all of it because he had some homoerotic fantasy with a kid from when he was a
Bucky. I didn't like his love for Bucky in the movies. It was like
that was entirely unrelatable. That was just way too far to go for anybody.
I don't think I've ever loved another male human as much as he has. And if I did, I'm pretty sure I would be sucking that guy's dick.
Yeah, exactly. I
I couldn't relate to it. Especially when Bucky didn't even have any intention. He didn't want to be his friend anymore. He didn't want to come back to the real
and he was
world.
just like following him around and
even questioning at one point like, why are you doing this?
exactly. And then at that point in the film, you're like, fuck it, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
What good reason does he have?
There's some latent homosexuality going on there.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know it's a bad thing, but at least be upfront about it.
Yeah. But also, he did so much with this team of people.
Yeah.
But did so much character building and relationship building with this team of people, and then it was just ready to be like, never mind. I'm gonna go suck this guy's dick. So
the writers were very biased in that movie.
yeah, making
Like-
Captain America.
Yeah, no, because like if you think about it, right, Captain America's argument is no, we shouldn't be regulated. We should be allowed to blow up fucking buildings and harm citizens, put them in harm's way. And Iron Man's was all like, no, we should have rules. We should have a structure in place so that shit like that doesn't happen. And somehow Iron Man's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. They really portrayed him as the bad guy, but then just to give some leverage, I guess, for the marketing that it was whose side are you on, they gave you a reason to vouch for Iron Man, which was that his life absolutely fucking sucked. He had people left and right blaming him for murders. His fucking girlfriend left him.
Yeah.
It was crazy. They just pelted him with bullshit and treated him like he was the villain, but all he was doing was trying to not just save his own ass, but save the ass of his entire fucking team and his friends.
And the asses of all the civilians that could be put in harm's way from their actions. Because they showed it right at the beginning as well. Like, they blew up like part of a building right at the beginning, and like some citizens were harmed.
Yeah. Well, it was nobody's fault. It wasn't on purpose.
No, yeah, but like that right there is evidence enough that there should be a regulation.
Yeah.
Some regulations in place.
Some rules and.
Yeah, and so I didn't like that. I mean, I didn't like the movie basically as a whole. I liked the big meet up in that airport. Yeah, that was a really good scene.
Oh yeah, that was really,
I love that
really
scene.
good. Yeah.
Ant-Man came into it.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man for the first time.
And he had some brilliant quips, and that little fight he had with Falcon and who else was there?
He caught Iron Man's shield, so maybe it was Iron Man.
No, it wasn't Iron Man.
Iron Man. I didn't mean Iron Man's shield. Captain America's shield.
Yeah, it wasn't Captain America either.
Right.
I knew what you meant, and I didn't even click that you said Iron Man. No, it was fighting in like in a part of the airport with Falcon.
Was it, Black Panther? Was he there?
It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant anyway. But that scene was really good. Just all of his quips and the ways he was fighting. And
yeah, I really liked it. It felt like a kid.
Yeah, he was really human, and that.
By the way, that didn't sound right when it didn't feel right.
It felt like a kid.
Felt like a kid.
No, but he's really a human character. He's really relatable, like incredibly relatable. And I know you haven't seen the new Spider-Man, so I won't spoil anything. But the amazing thing about that film is how human he is. How, like, all these superhero films that have come before this, they rarely ever fuck up. And if they do, it's for the story. Yeah. And they're these perfect beings that do everything right and always save the day and stuff. But in Spider-Man, like, it's really a close shave. Yeah. Like 90% of the time, if he even succeeds at all. Like, he's really, truly struggling, and half the time, if he does save the day, he fucks something else up in the process.
Like, it feels like he's getting by just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
And like a little tiny bit of luck.
Not experienced, and he is a kid, and he wants to do right, but is not perfect like all these other superheroes. Yeah. And that is what makes that movie probably one of the most grounded superhero films I've ever seen.
Yeah, because like I don't know, I didn't see the movie, but so I'm only going off what I've seen in the trailers and Civil War, but. He was young. You could tell he was young and stuff like that. How he was fucking just enjoying being in a fight.
And he was like really fanboying over being around them.
And it contrasted how much like the Andrew Garfield ones and the Tobey Maguire movies are. Like Tobey Maguire looked 30. Yeah. Spider-Man's supposed to be like a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And
well, they thought that wouldn't be relatable and that wouldn't sell tickets or whatever, but it is really, really good.
Spider-Man's like a thing for kids, like of course he would have.
When he's not humping Elsa.
Yeah, sending death threats to other YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tobey Maguire looked like a 30-year-old dude straight away, and so that wasn't relatable. And then Andrew Garfield,
He looked younger.
he looked younger.
I'll be completely honest. I really enjoyed those films at the time.
You
Sorry, I just nearly broke the table.
They're not bad. Better than the Tobey Maguire ones.
Yeah.
But
People really hate the second one, and I'm not sure why. I don't really want to talk about it because I'll come under fire. I haven't seen it for a long time, but I just remember liking it.
is that the one with the ending? That how long's it been out? We can see the ending, right?
Yeah, I think it came out around the same time, in the same year as Captain America 2, which is the only good Captain America.
Right.
I really like that one.
Gwen Stacy, she died.
Yeah.
So we leave the table
Sorry.
alone.
No, I knocked something out of place and I had to put it back and it made a sound.
Okay. Yeah, like I didn't like that movie either, to be honest. I really liked the sound design when Electro shows up.
Yeah, the music.
Yeah.
And there's like this dubstep track that builds up and it's got
Zimmer
like...
do the music for it.
I think he might have done.
He's got a very Hans Zimmer style.
I'll quickly Google it while we talk about it. But I really liked... part of the soundtrack was the voices in Electro's head.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't really like that movie much either. The second one, the first one, first Andrew Garfield one as well, was okay.
I tell you what I liked more than those two films though was the two games that came out. It was Hans Zimmer, by the way.
Yeah, I thought so. Hans Zimmer's my bae. I can tell where his music crops up. Was the second Andrew Garfield one where he finds like a hidden underground layer where his like parents were like, I don't know, they did something there, like there were scientists or something like that. And it turns out there's a whole elaborate plot where they were killed on board
canon.
a plane.
That's from the comics. It's
I didn't like
canon because they were.
I hadn't read that.
Shield agents. His
Were they?
parents.
I don't think I ever found out that the origins of his parents.
No, yeah, it's been in the animated series a few times, and it's been in the comics a lot of times.
Yeah,
that his parents were Shield agents, and they were killed in a variety of different ways.
I didn't like that. I thought it was just too. Why couldn't his parents be just dead?
Yeah.
Why does he have to come from like a lineage of agent,
that
Shield agents?
That it really doesn't strike
It's
well
the
with
same
me.
thing that pissed me off about all these theories about who Rey's parents were in Star Wars. They're all like, oh, she's a fucking Kenobi, and it's like, oh no, she's a Skywalker. And it's like, why does she have to be?
Yeah, why can't she just be a
from
nobody?
a lineage already? Why can't she just be a nobody, for fuck's sake? Why has someone always got to be, something?
No, I really hope they don't ruin it like that.
I don't.
Like
I hope
Chlorians all over again.
To fucking God, or whatever deity is willing to accept my prayer, that they don't make her like Anakin and she was born from the Force, because that was shit.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
I don't see any reason why they would do that. I don't think they would even reference a plot point from the first three films because they know that people are not the first three, the prequels.
Yeah,
the three
the
prequels.
prequels.
Yeah.
First three, if you go in order of
When they came out.
not when they came out, that's chronological. In the order of how you should watch them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first ones that ever came out.
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6.
Well, in the ideal order to watch it, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6.
That's the way I watch it. I watch 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah.
Purely because like it's nice to have like a flashback before the finale.
Yeah.
And it also it doubles up as like a way to get the bad taste of the first three out of your, 1, 2, and 3 out of your mouth. That's how I watch it. It's a good way of watching it.
How did we get to
lineage?
Yeah, his parents that were.
So yeah, I didn't like that, and I probably wouldn't have liked it if I read it in the comics either.
No, it's never been something I was happy about. I always just thought it was kind of. It was coming from humble beginnings. It was sweet that his parents died and he was living with his mum and his uncle. And, yeah, exactly.
It's much more impressive, and it feels better if someone's accomplished great things just by themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas as soon as you say, "Oh no, his parents were agents," in Shield, you're all like, "Oh, so he's already like got greatness instilled in him." And it's not. I don't like that. I also didn't like. Was it Hobgoblin?
Hobgoblin. Yeah.
I didn't like him.
Wait.
He was very boring. Or was it the Green
Oh,
Goblin?
yeah. No, it was just the Goblin, I
Was
think.
it just the Goblin?
Yeah. But it was the Goblin. But the Goblin, because it was based on the Ultimate Universe comics, and the Goblin is actually, like, it's not like a man in a suit. It's actually like this big demon.
Really?
Which is supposed to be not Harry Osborn, but Norman Osborn.
Right.
But something happens to Norman in that. I don't actually remember. Was that the first one or the second one?
Was it the second one?
Yeah, it was the second one.
Because I thought it was really funny because right at the end of the movie, they tried setting up like this, like it was like hiring villains or something like that.
Yeah, for Sinister Six, because they're going to do a Sinister Six movie.
Setting up for that. And it was just, obviously that movie was just abysmal and no one liked it.
Yeah.
Also,
I think they might have dropped the Sinister Six idea and they're going with Venom now.
I hope the Venom one's good.
I thought that Disney got the complete rights to Spider-Man and just let Sony dabble where they wanted to, just so that they'd let them have Spider-Man. But when I saw the latest Spider-Man, both Sony and Disney were in the credits.
Right, they might have teamed up.
So yeah, I'm thinking they worked together on it.
Yeah. What was I going to say about something?
Was it about Hobgoblin?
Hobgoblin.
Sinister Six, they were setting up for another film.
Oh,
Rhino
yeah,
was at the
right.
end.
The Rhino bit at the end. Rhino is such a good like villain for Spider-Man in the games and the comics and the series.
Yeah.
Right. But like they wasted it, like just on a little shitty cameo at the end, and
the ridiculous thing about that was that he was in all the marketing.
Yeah.
Probably because they spent so much on the CGI that they wanted to.
And it
put
wasn't
it out
even
as
that
much
good.
as
You
possible.
could tell it was some guy's face comped into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they wasted it on a little shitty cameo at the end, and he wasn't even an anthropomorphic like rhino type thing. He was a guy in a big metal suit.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more believable. Not that he's ever been anthropomorphic. He's just got a really gimpy ass grey rhino suit with horns on his forehead.
He's got a horn. I don't know. But like, it's obviously it's believable, and because they already set up the fact that this guy's got this really weird skin disease and he's turning into a goblin.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like that either. Like, oh, unnamed skin disease. I'm like, why can't you just find something that's remotely similar? For fuck's sake. It's like using unobtainium in movies. I'm like, fucking hell. It's just, why did you just say, oh yeah, we're here to mine plot device? It's fucking stupid. And like characters that only exist to be kidnapped for the superhero to go and save them. Might as well just call them all fucking MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Peach. Might as well be MacGuffin. So yeah, I didn't like the second Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I didn't like the first Thor much. There were some good scenes in it. It was very quotable in some parts. Like when he tasted coffee the first time and he smashed the cup.
Yeah, it's like another.
Another.
I liked the first Thor, but when I go back and watch it after seeing, it's just kind of, it's got a very different feel to all the other films. Like Thor 2 is more grounded in the universe that they've set up, but it's just not an exciting film.
I didn't like Thor 2.
There's a really good scene at the end when they're just trashing London.
Yeah.
And the portals keep opening up and he's trying to get his hammer to come to him and it keeps going through the portals. And then it ends up on another planet somewhere and it comes all the way from that planet straight down to Earth and he catches it and just shatters whatever the fuck he's fighting. So
yeah. My favourite part about that scene is where, I think she's called Kat Dennings.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
on my list.
She's on your list. Mine too. She sees Mjolnir whiz past her and she goes, Mjö Mjö.
Yeah.
She can't pronounce it. And that made me giggle when that happened.
Yes.
But yeah, I didn't like that movie either. It seemed like superhero movies adopted this trend where the big bad thing that happens threatens the entire world or entire city, and it's always this faceless like thing that you just can't relate with at all. Like it's random people you never even met in the movie in a city just running for their lives, and you're like, I don't care if they die, they're unknowns. And it's always like the biggest thing that annoys me as well, like in the Superman movie, Man of Steel, it was literally a big bloody blue beam in the sky that was destroying it.
Yeah, it's like when they did Galactus in Fantastic Four.
It was just a big fucking
it was just
cloud.
A cloud, yeah.
You can't feel threatened, right, by a big blue beam. Something that doesn't even have a fucking face.
Yeah.
That's why we need good, like really well written villains.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they forget that fucking Suicide Squad, big blue beam in the sky, were destroying a city.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it. It's such poor writing.
Yeah.
Avengers, the first Avengers, big fucking alien invasion in the city. The city was going to be destroyed.
That was a good scene.
Avengers 2, a city got raised up in the sky. It was going to be dropped. It was like, fucking...
Yeah.
Can we stop with the city destroying shit and have things on a more personal level?
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it.
So that's why superhero movies are getting stale for me. I'm getting bored of them.
Avengers 1 was really good just because it was all these heroes coming together and fighting this big fight, and it was like this cinematic marvel, and that was no pun intended.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes. Yeah, just to sit down and watch something and tune off. It's very good. Yeah, you can. Like we said when it first came out all those years ago, you could cut that up, all the scenes, cut them all up, mix them all up, right? And then replay it in out of order, and you'd still get the gist of the movie. You'd still be able to enjoy it. You'd have to watch it from back to front to back or whatever. And so it's a good movie in that front. I could probably watch it a few times, but like if you want to watch it to enjoy a good story and very good character development stuff like that, there's not there for you.
Well, a testament to how to the reason why it's good, being that it's this team getting together, is that the films since that haven't been able to recreate the excitement of that. So they've tried to draw excitement from somewhere else, and it's just kind of fallen flat in comparison. Yeah. Avengers 2 is basically it. Avengers 2 has some really, really cool scenes that still make me like my little inner child. It starts getting giddy. Like when Vision comes into it, and he I think Thor saves him or helps him out or something, and he shows that he's just gained a lot of respect for Thor by copying his cape, because he looks at him and he's like, shit, that's cool, and he just like creates his own cape. Also, and he's trying to get them all to trust him, and they're like, why should we trust you? You came from defective AI and all this other shit, and he gives this speech, which by itself was enough to partially convince them, and then he just picks up Thor's hammer and passes it to him, and he's like, we need to go.
Those who are worthy will be able to pick it up.
Yeah, which everybody knows anyway. They didn't need that whole scene where everyone's trying to pick it up. It was a good scene, but just the fact that they only put it there so that they could have the awe at the end when Vision picks it up, that bothers me a bit. Yeah, it wasn't there just because it's a fun scene. It was there just to set something up for later.
I don't know. Like, it's the whole Chekhov's gun situation.
Well, yeah.
So I'm glad they did do it, just because it set it up. Because if he just picked it up out of nowhere, you'd be like, why the fuck is he picking up that hammer?
Yeah.
So it's kind of necessary.
I just feel it makes me feel uncomfortable when a film feels like it needs to remind the viewer of something.
Yeah, it could have been less obvious that they were setting it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like the director telling me I'm an idiot.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I don't like that.
The superhero movies, whilst some of them are good and I enjoy watching them, they're not directed in a very smart way. Yeah. There's no smart direction. It bashes you over the head with some of the stuff. Mm-hmm. That's why I like Deadpool. There's no like super like vague fucking theme that it bashes you over the head with. It's literally just for enjoyment. For pure enjoyment.
Yeah.
Like, and I like how it says as well, like, this isn't a superhero movie, it's a romantic movie. So.
Yeah.
And like half of her is all like, oh, did I say it was a romantic movie? I meant it's a fucking horror movie or something. Because of his face or whatever. But yeah, that scene with the hammer, the only thing that I liked about it was where Captain America's turn to pick it up and it wobbles just a little bit and then fucking Thor's face just goes up. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I liked Avengers 2. Funniest scene, hands down, was where the Hulk went like rogue. He got like, mind fucked, and Iron Man busts out the Hulk Buster.
Yeah.
And then he's just punching him like
repeatedly
like a new
in the
mic fist, just bang, bang, bang. He's all like, go sleep, go sleep, go sleep, go sleep.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, there was some really good bits. I think what bothers both of us quite a lot about those films is just how much they try to cram into it, and it's like, oh, we need a scene with a Hulkbuster, and oh, we need Ultron in it, and we need Vision to come into it, and we need the Scarlet Witch to come into it, and it's like all these storylines just colliding, and
it's like, oh, and we need Iron Man to take up like 60% of the screen time.
Yeah.
So it is really annoying. But Guardians of the Galaxy, I enjoy that.
It's my favourite film.
Yeah, it's really good, but it doesn't feel like a superhero movie.
No,
it feels like a space opera, like, something on the same level as like Star Trek or Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, because like no one's. I mean, they have aliens, which kind of have like what would be considered superpowers for regular humans.
Yeah.
But Star-Lord himself is very.
He's just a regular
He's
human.
just basically a regular human. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing in the second movie which.
It really helps that Chris Pratt's such a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
I think by this point he is actually my favourite actor.
Yeah, I've got a few at the moment. But yeah, he's definitely one of them.
Yeah. He's hilarious, and he's got, his timing is impeccable.
His comedic timing is brilliant. But he's also proven that he can be serious and make people feel
Passengers.
Passengers, yeah, really good. I think we talked about that in an earlier.
We still haven't
episode.
rewatched it. We need to do that.
Yeah,
we could do it today.
But like, so probably I'm gonna say it again, but like, he lived on the spaceship for like a year, maybe a bit longer, and it really, like, his acting really made you feel for him, like how long he's been there. And you're like, fuck me, man. I'd wake her up as well.
Yeah.
Really
another film that did that really well was Martian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. It was.
I think my favourite genre of film being psychological thriller. If you want me to really enjoy a psychological thriller, make it about space, because there is nothing more like intimidating and depressing than just the endlessness of space.
Yeah, that's why like Sunshine. It's not like a psychological horror. The story's not like massively impressive, and they do get the science wrong a lot. Like there's a scene where I don't know if he's the captain of the ship. Some guy, I forgot his name. I think
he's like one of the mechanics or something.
I don't know, but like he gets blasted out into space because they go to meet the first Icarus ship to refuel and get another bomb and all that. And the docking port gets destroyed because I assume that's when Mark Strong's character boards that ship, the Icarus 2, and he destroys the dock coupling. And so they all decide to wrap themselves up in insulating materials, not insulin, and they'll just open up the dock and they'll get blasted straight into the Icarus 2 dock.
Yeah.
But some guy gets hit by a bit of debris and he starts flying off into space, and he freezes in like 30 seconds, which wouldn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that because John Murphy, I think, did the music. And also, it was very depressing. You could feel it was very claustrophobic. They were trapped inside a very small spaceship.
Yeah.
It was just big, like basically a long tube with a bunch of attachments to it, with a fucking crazed maniac, and they're also on a journey to reignite the sun because it's dying. It was a very good movie. But like you said, if the most effective psychological horrors I feel would be set in space because of how claustrophobic it is, but how vast it is.
Yeah. On the opposite end of the spectrum from like the depressing and claustrophobic shit, Guardians of the Galaxy is really upbeat and really happy and
very colourful as well.
Yeah, and it's just a really, really good time from start to finish. It's just really fun. The music is really fun.
Yeah.
Even the main villain is just a complete joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really love that.
The gear up, right? Like every superhero movie's got a massive gear up to the end boss fight.
Yeah.
Right? And in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the boss fight ends up being like a dance-off.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's so good.
I won't spoil anything for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but I'll speak very vaguely. There's a scene near the end where he turns on this incinerator.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough that the incinerator were just flames. It had to be bright green, orange, blue,
Yeah,
pink,
exactly.
and all sorts of things. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was colourful. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is like super colourful.
Yeah.
It's like fucking ultra levels. It just turned up to 11.
Yeah. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I've only seen it once, so I don't want to say this is my new favourite film over Guardians of the Galaxy 1. But what it failed to do was replicate the excitement of the first one, like with them all coming together, them all building a team.
Yeah.
They tried to replicate it almost a bit ham-fisted with having them break apart and then come back together again. Like, not break apart the team, but like the team does break apart.
They're separated for a bit.
Yeah, they're separated, but also they're angry at each other. They're having arguments left,
Yeah.
right, and centre. And
I don't, like they spent the first movie, like, you know, trying to build up a bond.
Yeah.
And very early in the second movie, it kind of breaks down a bit.
Yeah.
Only for them to rebuild it back up to where it already was.
I think the reason they did that is because it's like a common thing for people to say about Avengers, that you couldn't replicate the excitement of them coming together. So I think what they tried to do was find a new way to approach that problem.
Yeah.
So by having this bond that they broke up, like, disappointingly fall apart and being like, oh my god, are they not friends anymore? Like, what's going on? And then oh no, it turns out the bond is much stronger than that. And
like as I was saying, that's like the only weak part of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that I felt.
Prior to seeing it, I really didn't like that Groot was going to be a baby the whole time, because it was like, oh, you clearly did that to sell toys and merch, and
they gave it the whole minion treatment.
But it was really good. They played him really well. It wasn't as annoying as you thought it would be. Yeah, it was probably one of the best comic relief characters we've had in a long time.
What I want to know is if they still got Vin Diesel to voice him, but just pitch it up like 5 octaves. But yeah, no, I really like the second one. I've seen it like 1.5 times. But it was alright. More than alright. It was really good. I'm not gonna shortchange
Yeah,
it.
it was
really
really
good.
It's really heart-wrenching stuff as well. It plunges deep into some emotions you weren't
There's
sure you had.
The new character that gets introduced, that was just really good.
Yeah.
And I think that character was going to end up in the next one or something like that. I saw something. I know this character's got their own comic.
Yeah.
I don't know how old the comic is.
I'm not. Guardians of the Galaxy itself is a really old
Yeah, I know
comic,
that.
so.
I remember seeing it as a kid, but never reading it.
Oh, I don't. It's weird because I was into comics as a kid, so when new movies were coming out, I was like, oh no way, there's going to be a movie with Thor in it and stuff like that. And then they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to Google this because I'd never heard of them before. And then it turns out they're my favourite film.
Yeah. Well, I never collected comics personally. My mum never bought me them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was when I was in school. Everyone had them on the playground, and there was a group of guys that had them on the playground, and they'd sit and read them, and they'd let me sit and read with them because I couldn't bring my own comics to the table, but they always had fucking loads.
Yeah.
And so I'd read them from there, and sometimes I'd borrow them and stuff. And I remember seeing Guardians of the Galaxy from there.
All right.
But I also never read it. I was interested in Spider-Man. But I never borrowed them in chronological order. I'd borrow like issue fucking, I don't know, like 100 or something, and issue 180, and then I'd go back to like issue 30 or something, you know, like...
I used to get Spider-Man comics every weekend. My dad would buy me a new one, but they weren't official comics. You know, you'll get a kids magazine like Adventure Time, the TV series. they have the magazines which have little games in them, and then there's like comic strips of adventures that they went on. It was like that, but for Spider-Man. So the stories were never really canon, but they did have like an overarching theme.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were going to say like it was some Chinese bootleg and you were called the Arachnid Boy or something.
no, it was the Spider-Man IP, but I think the writing was a lot less advanced and
it was aimed for younger
the
kids.
stories were shorter and stuff. I was a young kid at the time, but it wasn't until I think when Iron Man the movie came out that I started buying actual comics.
I think it's really ironic how back then, if you're into superheroes and comics, you're a massive nerd, but now it's like the popular thing.
Yeah,
everyone loves superheroes.
Well, being a geek is popular. Like there's hipster girls walking around with geek written on the t-shirt and stuff, and it's
being a modern geek is a popular thing. Being an actual geek, super smart, kind of,
recluse,
probably having Asperger's, stuff like that. That's not popular. People don't like that part. They like the kind of culture that comes with it, like being able to wear, pop culture stuff and all that shit. That's what they like. They want to talk about fucking cultural appropriation and shit. Why do we talk about that? Poor geeks, man. fuck native fucking American Indians and how white people wear their headdresses at Halloween. What about geeks, man? Where's their justice?
Yeah.
Our justice. People stole our superhero.
How dare people wear big glasses with tape on the middle?
Yeah. Unless you actually need glasses. How dare people run around with fucking Iron Man shirts if they're not actually a geek?
Yeah, they haven't read the comics and stuff.
That joke ran its course ages ago.
What joke?
The whole cultural appropriation geek thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel, I think, are killing it with the superhero stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
They're doing really well. But I feel like DC is still struggling. I was hoping...
It's really weird because there is so many DC fans out there who are so anti-Marvel that they refuse to accept that the Marvel... Like some of the Marvel films are quite good. Like even Deadpool, they'll probably watch that and go, yeah, but it'd be better if it was Aquaman or some shit.
Better if it was fucking Slade Wilson, fucking...
Oh yeah, that's true. That's full-on ripped off Slade Wilson.
Yeah, I was hoping that Suicide Squad... Because I don't hate DC, right?
No.
I'm pretty sure I said something many, many years ago where I hated DC.
Well, my reasoning for saying that I hated DC many, many years ago was Superman, which we've talked about.
Yes.
Is just ridiculous. Like, he was the first superhero comic. Like, his was the first superhero comic. It's like Action Comics number 4 or some shit. Yeah. And nobody had even thought about that back then, and they were like, wow, this is amazing. So obviously they just went over the top. They were like, what if he's invincible? What if he can breathe ice? What if he has laser eyes? What if he can has super strength and flies? What if he flies so fast around the earth that he goes back in time? Like, what the fuck?
But only in the opposite direction of the earth that it's spinning.
Yeah.
What if he can fucking divide by 0? What if he can't eat a round tree's fucking fruit pastel without chewing it?
Oh, that one tickled me.
Yeah, so I don't hate DC.
Well, Superman was one of the reasons why I didn't like DC. Yeah. The other reason was just ridiculous. First of all, like back in the day, 90% of the superheroes were just around with the underwear on the outside, which is ridiculous. I once read, because I liked the Teen Titans cartoon like most kids did at the time, and I was like, oh cool, I'll read the comics, and I couldn't for the life of me find one where they had more than just underwear on, and I'm like, these are little kids. They're running around with their dicks hanging out of the fucking underwear.
Do you reckon
this is creepy, this is weird?
Do you reckon they have underwear on the outside just in case they shit the underwear that's on the inside?
Oh, it was so strange. And the fact that they kept it going for so long, they were adamant, like, we invented superheroes, like, we invented the underwear on the outside, we're not giving it up. And it's like, give it up, it's ridiculous.
And also, like, 90% of the superheroes have stupid names.
Yeah, it's ridiculous names. Just like putting man on the end of whatever the power was.
They have, like, Nuclear Boy or Nuclear Man or something like that, and his power is nuclear.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
But yeah, I don't hate DC. I'm sure I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I do actually want to see them succeed because they do have some really good superheroes. I really like Wonder Woman. I
ain't seen the film.
I
don't make an effort to see
I like
DC
her
films,
character because, like we mentioned in an earlier episode, I really do like a strong female lead. I liked Harley Quinn, but only in the comics where she wised up and...
the games.
What games?
The Batman games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was cool
the
in them.
the Arkham Knights and all that, the Arkham City.
I think Batman's a really strong IP. They just need someone to do it right.
I've played Arkham Asylum for like 20 minutes. I've played Arkham Knight all the way through to completion. And in that, she was alright, but she was going back a bit crazy because she was grieving over Joker.
Joker's really good in those games.
But yeah, I like Harley Quinn, but only in the comics where she realizes that Joker's an abusive piece of shit and she like gets away with him.
Yeah.
And there's that comic where she goes away to have a baby, and then she comes back and she's fighting. I forgot which superhero she's fighting. It's another woman, and she stopped fighting because she realizes that the heroine is pregnant, and so she tells her a story and she's like, Mr. J was so funny when I came back after 9 months. He pretended like he didn't realize I was gone all that time, and then she started crying. I was like, fuck me, this is deep.
Wow,
so dark. But yeah, I'm pretty sure in some comics she got really wise and she realized that she was in an abusive relationship and she joined some superheroes, or she was like walked the line a bit, fairer. And I was really hoping something like that happened in Suicide Squad because fuck Joker, man, he's an abusive asshole.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, oh, it's such a perfect relationship. I was like, do you realise what the fuck he's doing to her?
Yeah, all those like memes on Facebook are like, oh, I wish I had a relationship like this.
Yeah,
and like a little gif of them together, and it's like, what?
Like true love, and I'm like, you fucking hypocritical bitches. If you found a boyfriend that was as abusive as Joker was, you'd be calling the police.
Yeah.
Women, mate, they've all got this fucking lady boner for getting a bad boy and turning him good. That's why they fucking...
Whoa, what is going on here?
Sorry. I don't want to turn into info. But that's why the fucking...
Not all women, just to clarify.
Not all women.
There's a high number of women who appear on our Facebook wall who are like this.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
These women have a lady boner for getting a bad guy and turning him good, which is why the 50 Shades of Grey shit sold so well.
Yeah.
There's a very large number of women.
Yeah.
Fucking conspiracy rant over. They're not keeping babies in jars and growing them for their organs. With no green aliens ran out from under rocks and said they want to kill babies and they love Satan.
What?
That's what that InfoWars guy said.
Oh, right, okay.
He broke down in one of his fucking things and he just started crying and was all like, they're keeping babies in pods and raising them for their organs. I've got videos or something like that. I'm like, fuck off, mate.
I just like when he's like, putting chemicals in the water to take the freaking frogs gay.
Oh, mate. Hilarious. So, yeah, I liked Harley Quinn. I like Wonder Woman. And I like Batman to a degree.
Just depends.
It just depends on which iteration.
And whether Robin's there or not.
Oh, God.
When I was trying to get into Batman comics, it was so hard to find one that didn't have Robin in it, and I just didn't want to deal with that. And again, 90% of the times that Robin was there, he had nothing but tighty whities on.
Isn't it a bit more bearable when he becomes Dick Grayson?
When he's Nightwing. He's super cool.
Nightwing. Yeah, I liked Nightwing in the Batman game.
The thing is, with the Teen Titans animated show that was airing when I was a kid, Robin was a badass. He was super cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was a bit edgy and...
Yeah, but then he meets Batman and Batman just alphas the shit out of him and turns into a little pussy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really hoping the Suicide Squad movies would make a success for DC, where it falls so flat on its ass. Fell?
Yeah.
So flat on its ass.
Yeah.
I would say it falls flat on its ass, where it's already out. So.
It was such a mess. It was so... There's something really specifically wrong with the latest DC films where the way that the films are cut together is like a trailer.
Very poorly edited.
It doesn't feel like it's all one continuous thing. You just like... You finally get into a scene and then it's gone and there's another scene and you're like, wait, how did we get here? Where's the connection? Where's the segue?
Yeah, there was no segue.
They need your skills.
Yeah, and like Joker was like, it might as well not have been in it, mate.
Yeah.
He didn't bring anything to it. They fucked his character up.
Yeah.
Joker's like, he does things in the moment, right? And like, getting a tattoo that says "ha ha" is very premeditated.
Yeah.
First of all, you'd be like, in order to get a tattoo in the heat of the moment, you need to be already there and have a tattoo gun ready and waiting.
I feel like the only way that Joker would ever get a tattoo that specifically says "ha ha" is if he had a tattoo gun and he was doing it to himself, just in a moment of craziness, but not going and being like just sitting for 6 hours in a... Can you imagine that? Imagine the scene of Joker just sat in a tattoo parlour with a guy like asking him how his day was and shit.
It was a very stylized font as well, so it wouldn't have been just a quick 10-second job.
Yeah.
That guy would have been there for quite a while tracing the lines and filling it in. And they wouldn't have filled it in straight away anyway, they'd just traced the lines and he would have gone back to fill it in.
Nobody thought about this though when they were conceptualising him. The guy was painting a concept and he was like, oh, put some tattoos on.
They would have been like, oh, he's the Clown King. He would have had a tattoo that says ha ha. Oh, let's give him a silver grill. What? Why does he have silver fucking teeth, man?
Realistic would have been if it was a scar that said ha ha.
Yeah.
And he was just self-mutilating.
Yeah, and he did it to intimidate someone or something like that. I'm pretty sure I would mutilate himself to intimidate other people. That's totally what he'd do. And there was that scene where he was in a big room.
Yeah, and he laid all that shit around him.
Yeah, in a perfect spiral pattern as well.
Yeah, he would have had to meticulously do that.
Yeah.
He's crazy in a psycho way, not an OCD way.
Yeah. It would have taken ages to lay it all out perfectly. And there was apparently I ain't gone back to watch it because fuck that noise. But some people spotted that there was baby clothing in that thingy.
Yeah.
Which means Harley Quinn would have been pregnant or something like that, and he was looking forward to being a dad. I was like, that's not Joker. Joker's not going to be looking forward to settling down.
Well, they need to get their shit straight as well, because there's a Harley Quinn and Joker movie coming out, but there's another Joker movie coming out, different actor, different Joker, not even connected. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, did you say there's a Harley Quinn movie coming out?
Harley Quinn and Joker.
Oh, Harley Quinn and Joker.
Yeah.
Can she just get her own movie? She deserves.
I think she was kind of the only enjoyable part of the film.
Yeah. No, there was that one scene in the bar, where they had a bit of downtime and they all that was
a good scene.
Working out the demons and stuff. Yeah. And they bonded a bit. That was a really good scene.
Yeah.
I wish it was much longer. Or in fact,
I wish the whole film was just that bad scene.
The whole movie was shit. I wish that was just that one scene for an hour and a half.
Yeah. It was a terrible film, but I have to say it was a masterpiece compared to Batman vs Superman.
I haven't fucking watched that, mate. 20 minutes in, I gave up. Probably a bit longer.
I gave up. Watched a bit of it, like you, got a few minutes in and gave up. And then our friend Kibble told me, oh, they've released an extended version and it's so much better. They've added loads of scenes that they cut out.
It's only 16 hours.
I can't remember how long it was specifically, but I think it was 3 hours or
yeah. Well, I think the theatrical release is 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So there are many, many things wrong with this. First of all, Batman kills people.
Yeah.
Straight up kills people.
I saw a montage of all the innocent people that accidentally got killed in his pursuit of Superman or something like that, and it was fucking loads. I was like, what?
He was branding people.
Yeah, they were getting killed in prison. I don't know why that works. Who thought that villain's got Batman's log on him? Let's kill him.
Yeah.
What? Wouldn't he be a god? Oh my god,
he survived an encounter with Batman.
Batman got us to come and join the support group.
Yeah, exactly. The support group.
Batman fucked me over support group. Why were they killing him? Right, but even. He might have branded one guy, which is a very sadistic thing to do, so he wouldn't have done it anyway. But let's say he did, as soon as he saw the first report that guy got murdered in prison,
he probably wouldn't do it again.
He probably would have taken off his cowl and never been a fucking superhero ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about as far as I watched it, by the way. When that started happening, I was like, fuck off, I'm out.
It was so hard to follow because again, like Suicide Squad, it was cut up like a trailer, but 10 times worse. It was this scene's happening now, this scene's happening now, this scene's happening, and it's what? And there was a bit where Batman, Bruce Wayne, was sat on a chair or some shit, I can't remember, and Flash comes out of nowhere, and then I don't know. Then there was a scene in the past, or no, in the distant future. It was like a different reality. This is how hard it was to follow. Like Batman was leading a rebellion against Superman, who was like this almighty dictator. That's a complete butchering of the actual story, but the story butchered itself.
I don't think you can butcher it anymore, mate.
Yeah,
it's like trying to take a cleaver of minced meat.
But right, I was watching the film, fully, intently, paying attention, wasn't doing anything else. I was watching the film, I saw that scene, and that's what I took away from it. So if it's wrong, then it's the film's fault.
I bet you were watching it, right? And then like the credits started rolling, and you were like, "Is it that time already?" I must have fucking dozed off, blacked out.
But yeah, this whole thing happened where he got like a glimpse into the future because of Flash, and then it was a dream. So like, it was a dream. So did Flash came to him in a dream? So did Flash show him the future or not? Or did Flash? So can Flash go into your mind and show you the future? Like what the fuck? Anyway, gets to the end. It took 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours for them to actually fight. It's called Batman vs Superman, and it was 2.5 hours of pointless exposition that led nowhere before they actually started fighting. And then they stopped fighting like 10 minutes later because their mums had the same name.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
What the fuck?
How did that even come about? Like, how did Superman just stop punching the shit out of Batman and be all like, by the way, my mum's name's Martha, did you know that?
I really...
She's called Martha, right?
I think. I can't remember how it happened. I think he was monologuing or something. He was like, oh, I should have told Martha. And he's like, why are you talking about my mother? What do you know about my mother? And he's like, no, it's my mother. And they're like, oh, cool. My mum's called that too, did you know?
No way. That's fucking
and then
ridiculous.
Lex Luthor was there for some reason. He was doing some shit. I don't fucking know.
You know why the movie sucked, right? It's because it was directed by the exact same guy who directed Man of Steel.
Man of Steel sucks. I don't care if you want to suck Superman's dick. It sucked.
Zack Snyder.
This is your kryptonite.
He can go and just fuck himself with a cactus, mate. I fucking hate him. He ruins movies.
Yeah.
His daughter died. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, and then what is it? The guy who's directing Avengers took over Justice League.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it might actually turn out to be a good film. He might put the scenes together in the right way, but then it turns out that's all been done already. It's just cleaning up.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck Zack Snyder. It's horrible that his daughter died, but fuck Zack Snyder.
R.I.P. Zack Snyder's daughter, but fuck Zack Snyder.
Hate him so much, mate. I ruined some movies. M. Night Shyamalan as well. I'm not a fan of him.
I feel like, what was it called? The one we watched recently? Split. I don't think it was a good film.
No.
But I think it was a good time.
The only reason I enjoyed that movie was because of James McAvoy's performance.
Yeah, he's really good. Have you seen...
Performances.
Was it Filth?
I haven't seen it.
Oh. You should watch it. It's like a total mindfuck, and James McAvoy is fantastic in it. Yeah,
James McAvoy carried that movie. The writing and direction was shit.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't like M. Night Shyamalan, by the way, right, is because first of all, his movies they get really predictable. It's a fucking slow burn, and then there's a twist at the end. But the reason I fucking hate him with a passion, as much as I hate Zack Snyder, is he butchered the shit out of Avatar.
Yeah.
One of my favourite bloody cartoon series from my childhood, and he butchered
and your adulthood,
and my adulthood. I still watch it. I fucking love Avatar. It's brilliant. The thing is, right, when you're a kid, it teaches you how to be a good friend. When you're an adult, right, it just reinforces that thing you've already learned, how to be a good friend. There's always something you can learn by going back to watch it. It's brilliant.
Oh, so you haven't seen it?
What?
You haven't seen Avatar?
The series?
Yeah. But you said it teaches you to be a good friend.
Oh, fuck you. I'm a brilliant friend. Watched the movie, and the movie was shit. Ruined it. Whitewashed first. But like, it's the water tribe that can only control water, they can't create water.
Yeah.
But they did the same thing with the fire fire nation. They couldn't create fire, they could only control it, and it's like, that's not how it fucking works, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really shit. And he butchered it, and I hate him for that.
I'm really sorry you had to go through that.
Alright, thank you. I'm looking to put together a support group.
We've actually got a charity up at the moment. If you'd like to donate to Ash's Broken Hopes and Dreams.
Yeah. I was so looking forward to it. Ruined it.
That's not real, by the way. Don't Google Ash's Broken Dreams or whatever. But if you do Google it and you find them, let us know.
Yeah. Take them to court. Stole our IP. So yeah, Zack Snyder makes terrible superhero movies. Christopher Nolan, on the other hand, makes brilliant superhero movies.
Yeah. Well, no, I disagree.
No?
I think his movies are fantastic.
Do you like The Dark Knight?
Let me get there. His movies are fantastic. The fact that he uses Hans Zimmer all the time is come-worthy, and his cast he uses pretty much the same cast all the time, and they're always fantastic
They're
actors.
brilliant actors.
Yeah, exactly. I just think they're a lot better than what he did with Dark Knight. Because it's a bit ridiculous. Like Bane and... I think Dark Knight is a really good film. Joker is really good. R.I.P. Heath Ledger. It's such a shame what
Best
happened.
Joker ever.
The third one, when it came out, I loved it. I was into the hype and my
Dark
little...
Knight Rises.
Yeah, I had an edgy little boner and everything. But if you go back and watch it now, it's just a comedy. It's like a comedy that's not aware that it's a comedy.
I disagree.
There's just so much about it.
I liked it.
Completely ridiculous.
It's the most believable Bane ever.
Yeah, but there's just his delivery is kind of funny in some situations. I couldn't really explain it, but if we went and watched it now, I could explain it to you.
I think the only reason it's funny is because of all the memes that spawned from it. I don't think the memes spawned.
No, because I don't think the memes are funny.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'd never said it was a funny comedy. I just mean it looks like it's a comedy that doesn't know it's a comedy.
Yeah. I don't know. I quite liked it. I don't like it as much as like The Dark Knight.
Yeah, The Dark
Knight's brilliant. It's got one of the best openings ever, where they're robbing that bank, and that guy's like, "I've been told to kill you," and he shoots him, and then the other guy does his thing, and he gets shot.
Yeah.
And then this other guy's like, "I bet you've been told to shoot me." When the driver arrives, he's like, he's like, "I bet you've been told to shoot me," or something like that. And he's like, "No, I shoot the driver." And he's like, "What driver?" And then the driver runs him over and bursts through the fucking wall.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it was the Joker all along. Brilliant. I love that opening.
If you gave me a library of Christopher Nolan films though and said you can only pick 3, I can guarantee the Batman films won't be in those 3. Actually, let's say what those 3 would be.
Come on then.
You go first.
All right.
You'll probably remind me of something that I don't remember.
Oh God, just 3.
Just 3.
I really like Inception.
Yeah.
So Inception.
Yeah.
Memento.
Yeah.
And probably The Prestige.
Okay. I've just completely forgot. There was one that I had in mind. So Memento, definitely.
Yeah.
Inception, yeah. Interstellar. I know so many people have such a problem with Interstellar, but I love that film so much.
It's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
Just that bit when they go down to the planet and they're like, don't take too long because I'll age, and then they get washed over by these giant waves. And
he's like, he's fucking thing up, then he looks at his watch and he's like, oh, look at that, 10 minutes to 26 fucking years, bitch. It was around like 20 years or something, wasn't it? It's a really good movie, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he was a bit way too heavy-handed with the theme of love. And there was that one line, "Love is quantifiable."
Oh, I didn't mute my phone. Sorry, guys.
Like, love is not quantifiable. Fuck that.
No, but
you can't measure love. Like, oh, your love is exactly 6.7 inches.
My love's 9 inches, bitch.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a good movie. I prefer the soundtrack over the actual movie itself.
Yeah,
very good soundtrack.
The soundtrack is
the soundtrack called Coward.
Yeah,
which is Matt Damon's theme song for it. What's his name? Fucking Doctor Man. That symbolism was heavy-handed as well. Doctor Man. Yeah, he represents humanity. Well done. But like the part where he's trying to dock with the spinning space station after the explosion.
Yeah.
Fucking love that soundtrack. People make memes out of it now, but I just hope the video lasts long enough so I can listen to it.
Oh, I love that one where the guy's screwing a light bulb in to the ceiling fan and the camera's going around it, and it's like, oh, that's.
But yeah,
I don't tend to like memes, but I like that.
Have you seen The Prestige?
Yeah, I watched it with you.
Oh, really good movie.
Is the one about the magicians?
Yeah.
It's
one of the only times I've like really enjoyed Christian Bale in a movie, because I fucking hate Christian Bale. I tolerated him in the Batman movies, but I really enjoyed his performance in that. I'll tell a lie.
That's another thing about the Batman movies that's ridiculous. When you look at it
Christian Bale
from an outside perspective, is his Batman voice. Like
Yeah.
a grown man going around going, "Where is she?"
And then
it's ridiculous. But yeah, sorry, go on. You hate Christian Bale.
Yeah. I told a lie. I can also tolerate his performance in American Psycho.
Yeah, that's quite a good film.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
I forgot what I was saying. It was something about Batman.
No, it wasn't. Was it? You're talking about Christian Bale?
Yeah. Just that I didn't like him as... I tolerated him as Batman.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that's where I was just willing to end that. Like,
Alright.
I wasn't taking it anywhere further. I was talking about Interstellar, but I feel like we should get off that topic.
No, you were talking about Prestige.
Yeah, good movie. No, yeah, Prestige led on to it was one of the only times I could tolerate Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I told a lie.
Okay. Well, I thought you were going to come back to Prestige after Christian Bale. So.
No, that is a good movie. I was just making sure you'd watched it. Cause
Yeah. I watched it with you. I've only seen it once. Do you know what?
Oh, do you remember the old campy as fuck Batmans? Sorry, I don't cut you off.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
That was one of the films that my sister used to put on, like, back to back.
Same. Fucking same.
We only had the one with Poison Ivy in it, though.
Is that only Arnold Schwarzenegger as well?
No. No? Maybe? I just remember the Poison Ivy and she had Bane and she put venom into it.
because they break him out of prison and he freezes the wall and Bane punches through it.
Yeah. I'd never seen the one with the penguin in it.
Never have I. I fucking hate that movie though, right? Because just because of one line, right?
Do you know what killed the dinosaurs?
Yeah, the Ice Age. I'm like, what? No. I'm pretty sure the Ice Age came after that. There's been loads of Ice Ages. Which specific
Broke the table again.
Ice Age was he talking about? But yeah, the fucking and the bat nipples. Come on, I get where we're going for. He was trying to base it off like Greek sculpture.
Yeah,
because they all had nipples and shit. But fuck off, man. Bat nipples. Is that like fucking part of his utility? Quick, grab onto my butt nipples. Oh, I heard that voice. Grab onto my butt. Look at my shiny badass. Yeah, because the fucking camera angles, like, put the fucking pants on and then turn their ass and it was like, boom, Batman ass.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it when it was Batgirl, though, if I do say so.
Mm-hmm.
God. Also, the latest was Batman v Superman. Didn't they make Alfred? I forgot his name. But everyone online were all like, fucking hell, suddenly Alfred's like super hot. I'm like, the guy's like 60.
Who was it?
He was... I think the only other thing I've seen him in was Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson in it. He plays Rick Allen's brother. Alan Rickman's brother even.
Rick Allen.
Alan Rickman. R.I.P. Alan Rickman.
Jeremy Irons.
That's it, Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a Alfred at all.
No. Too young.
Yeah, I googled that, by the way. Just in case that wasn't obvious. Yeah. I didn't just be like, aha!
Yeah.
But yeah.
Booyah.
Booyah. Is that our, like, catchphrase?
Booyah.
Whenever we're trying to buy time, we're just like, booyah.
No, yeah, because, like, we forget what we were talking about.
Yeah, we go off on a tangent a bit too much.
But yes,
Booyah.
I think
Sure.
there's not much more superhero stuff I want to talk about. I think I've covered all my points. It's getting stale. I've talked about the ones I liked, ones I hated. Fuck Zack Snyder.
Oh, we were talking about Christopher Nolan movies, and it was just way more interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we should watch his latest one.
Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna watch it, even though I love his films. I'm not into war films. They just don't really interest me. I think the only war film I've ever watched that I actually was interested in was probably Hurt Locker.
Yeah, it was alright.
I'm not saying it's a brilliant film, but it was interesting.
There's been a few. Jarhead was pretty cool. I liked that because it was focused more on the psychological torment it places on soldiers rather than glorifying war.
I hear that Dunkirk is very much like that, which is why I'm interested in seeing it. Apparently, you don't find out anyone's names.
Right.
The whole film, they don't say anyone's name. The soundtrack is awesome. I think this is the film where the Hans Zimmer soundtrack with the ticking in the background is from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to see it just because I heard that it was more based on psychology.
Definitely. I want to see it as well. I like when people tell stories about lesser known parts of wars, because they always tell like the fucking siege of Berlin and shit like that, and the big fucking battles, but no, like Pearl Harbor and shit, but they don't fucking talk about the smaller ones that happened. Yeah. And like Dunkirk was a kind of a smaller one, wasn't it? Mm. Fallujah as well, like that was a thing that happened. So Black Hawk Down did a movie.
Oh yeah, that's a good war film.
I really liked Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
That had a very young Tom Hardy in it. Did you know?
What do you mean?
Tom Hardy, the actor.
Yeah.
He was in it. He was quite young back then. He wasn't a known actor, or a big known actor, as he is now.
Was he not a main character in it?
No, he played a side character called Twombly.
Twombly.
Yeah, something like that.
Fantastic.
I don't know if he survives. Orlando Bloom was in it, I think, and if I remember correctly, he fell out of a helicopter and like got KO'd, like right near the beginning of the movie. I can't remember. Well, good movie though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm done with superheroes, I think.
We didn't really talk about the X-Men films.
Oh no, yeah, we can talk about that actually. Cause,
X-Men 1, 2, and 3. Let's just sweep them away because now they're irrelevant anyway.
Yeah, I like X-Men 1 though. Like X-Men 1, I like that. I watched that a few times as a kid. I didn't like X-Men 2.
Yeah, I think back in that time, the X-Men movies were the only ones that were actually any good.
Well, X-Men 1 was good. X-Men 2 I didn't really like. And I only liked X-Men 3 because it brought so many like mutants together for the first time.
Yeah.
Loads of mutants.
It was like Avengers.
They didn't have names and shit.
Scale.
I'm pretty sure if I read the comics more as a kid, I'd be able to spot some of the, characters.
Yeah, one thing I liked about the X-Men films was they wouldn't be like, oh, this is insert superhero name here.
Yeah.
They'd give you some vague inkling as to who that is, so you can be like, oh shit, that's Shadowcat or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, we can gloss over the first 3 movies. What was the first one in the recent series that came out?
First Class.
Was it First Class?
I think so. The one where Jennifer Lawrence started being in it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like a prequel.
Yeah.
I liked First Class.
Yeah, I think that's a really good film.
Was it Kevin Bacon who played the bad guy in that one?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Kevin Bacon.
No, but he did a good job.
But yeah, he was alright in that. Not that he didn't have much like charisma and stuff. Like, I guess he was imposing. Like he absorbed energy and stuff like that. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah. There's special effects for that as well. Were really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, might be sitting too far from the mic.
James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender were brilliant characters, and like the chemistry they had was really, really well acted.
Yeah, portrayed.
That's it. Jennifer Lawrence did an okay job. Well, a good job. I'll say that was a bit rude saying okay. It was a good job.
She's a really good actor. She's improved a lot over the years, though.
As a Mystique.
Yeah.
And First Class was really good. No, not like a massively original like plot though. Like, it was all about like trying to start a war between humans and mutants, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, because it was a really nice take on that idea, though.
Yeah.
Humans finding out that mutants are around and
Yeah.
just being so terrified of that prospect that they started like segregating them, or attempting to segregate them, which actually happens in the comics. So
I think
they have their own island with their own laws.
The thing
and
that I
shit.
liked the most about the First Class movie was how Charles got paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like that, I thought that was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
How what's his name? What's Magneto's real name?
Oh, it just flashed up in my head for a second and then it was
Eric?
gone. Yeah, Eric.
He got so like absorbed in his own plan and his own himself that he didn't realize that he hurt Charles.
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as he realized, because obviously he's his friend, you're like super upset. But you're like, I don't think he was mature enough to accept responsibility, and he blamed the woman and whatnot. And it was just like, it was a really nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not for Charles because he got fucking paralyzed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really good moment. Like because it started becoming the villain. But like they quickly like brought him back to like humanity. They humanized him very, very, very fast after that, and I really liked that. And it was really heartbreaking seeing Mystique side with Eric over Charles and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was really frustrating, like, but you can see where she was coming from. She wanted to be able to be just Mystique.
Yeah, they gave really good arguments for both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
They weren't just like, these are the bad guys, and these are the good guys. It was like a bit like blurred in between sort of thing.
And then was it Days of Future Past that came out for that one?
Yeah.
Before we got on Days of Future Past, what I liked about the First Class one as well, when they were recruiting mutants for like, I forgot what they were recruiting it for. I forget a lot of things about that one. But like they went to what's his face, Wolverine, while they were in a bar. Before they could say anything, it was just all like, fuck off.
Yeah, that was really
they just
cool.
turned around and walked away. That was awesome.
Yeah. By the way, my sister told me this, but every X-Men film, in fact, every superhero film, they get one swear.
Really?
They're allowed to swear once, so they use that one swear in that film for fuck off. I think they can keep it PG or PG-13 if they only swear once.
I don't get that. Like, they can keep it PG-13 by showing as much fucking skin as they want, but as soon as one guy's like says fuck twice, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
There's like a
too
criteria that you have to fulfill, I guess.
Crazy. Yeah, it was the Days of Future Past one was where Wolverine had to time travel, right? Has there been 3 now or 4 or?
I don't know. I remember the first one and I remember the latest one with Apocalypse.
Yeah. Wolverine one in
and
that
there was
one,
a Wolverine film we didn't even talk about.
Which one?
The one in Japan. People don't like it.
Not less said about
I like the bit about his past where he was at Hiroshima.
that. Yeah.
That was really, really good.
Yeah. You see, that's why I want to be immortal, mate. I want to be able to shrug off nuclear war.
Yeah.
Fuck it, this thing between North Korea and Trump, if it ever kicks off, I want to be able to survive that.
Yeah.
No, I like that scene. I didn't like how ungrateful the fucking cunt was that he saved his life and he got to live out to be an old man.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about X-Men Origins Wolverine, by the way. Which...
Oh, no. The less said about that,
Yeah.
the better.
Yeah, so I think the second one was where he had to travel... Was it back in time? There was a big, like, mutant war and they were losing.
Wasn't that the one with Apocalypse? Oh, I don't know.
I don't think so. So yeah, like, there's a big mutant war, and they send Hugh Jackman back in time because the mutants are losing it. Because, is it Trask?
No, yeah, don't.
No, I don't think there's any time travel in the third one.
No, the second one was Trask, or Peter Dinklage, basically.
Peter Dinklage.
And
Tyrion Lannister.
Mystique took a really major main role.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they were losing the war because they built these robots that could adapt to the mutants' abilities.
Yeah, Sentinels.
Sentinels, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
there was
send
now it makes sense.
Hugh Jackman back in time to save the day, to stop all that from happening.
Yeah, I remember now.
I really like that. I like that one because it kind of like developed more the character arcs. Like Charles is obviously understandably upset about losing his legs, and he's had Beast whip up some concoction that lets him walk, but it numbs his powers.
Is that the first one with Quicksilver in it?
Yeah.
And that scene in the kitchen.
Yeah, they have to break Eric out of prison.
Yeah, that scene in the kitchen is amazing.
Oh my god, I could just watch that all day. That's fucking awesome. That whole section was awesome. Like how he vibrated his hands to shatter the glass and get him out.
So the reason I was confused is because the future in that film, where they're trying to fight off the Sentinels and there's all these mutants that are just dying left, right, and center. For some reason in my head that was the third one. And I'm now realising that even though I've seen the third one, I don't remember everything from it.
The third one was Apocalypse, which is like the first superhuman ever.
There was like some Egyptian ritual shit going on. And
and there was a mutiny and they locked him deep under the ground.
Doesn't he take over some superheroes?
Yeah, no, you get... Because his whole shtick is that he has 4 superheroes.
Yeah, the 4 Horsemen.
Which are the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And they all died, didn't they? Like...
Yeah, but he comes back somehow.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again, because I remember liking it.
Yeah.
But I just don't remember it.
It's okay. I think people genuinely think it's not the best one. I think the second was the best one.
To say that I've seen most of the superhero movies that we've talked about today only once or twice, and still been able to remember those, but not been able to remember this one, I guess it wasn't very standard.
Also, Sophie Turner from who plays Sansa in Game of Thrones.
She was
Jean Grey.
Yeah.
I think, is it Logan Lerman plays young Cyclops? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. That one was about Apocalypse, first like superhuman or whatever, and all superhumans like spawned off from him or something stupid. I can't remember. And he like gets resurrected, gets his 4 horsemen back again. Ain't one of them like a young Storm or something like that?
Yeah, no, he actually takes X-Men as
no, because like
horsemen.
Psylocke.
Does he not?
He takes her. There's some guy with wings who I've forgotten. Angel.
I think they reference Archangel when he.
I'm sure there was another guy.
Or whatever.
Oh no, the other horseman was fucking Eric, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Oh my god, I need to watch this film again.
They take him to Auschwitz and he fucking destroys it. He uses his
We can watch that today.
And then obviously there was Storm, but they obviously weren't X-Men at that point.
Yeah.
Because I think she was living in some slum somewhere. But yeah, and he's trying to like destroy the world or like humans or something like that. Oh, he sends all nukes up in the skies, doesn't he? Something like that. Or he I don't know if he plans to use all the nukes to destroy them or he just gets rid of them all. But whatever. Like,
he just wants the mutant master race. I think. Yeah.
But in that one, there's a really cool scene with Quicksilver again.
Yeah.
I think there's gotta be every time.
Sorry, I just interrupted you and then completely lost what I was going to say. So.
All right. Well, I'm running out of things to talk about anyway.
Well, there's one more film we can very briefly talk about. I'll say the name of the film. You give me one word to describe it, and then we'll never talk about it again. Okay?
Okay.
The new Fantastic Four.
Not seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, no.
Good.
I've seen it.
Don't ever see it. Because you love that main actor, don't you? I can't remember what his name is. The guy who plays
Miles
Mr.
Teller.
Yeah, Miles Teller.
He's a fucking brilliant actor.
If you want to remain loving him, in fact, no, actually, you can watch that film and not hate him because it's not his fault. It's his fault.
I've heard
you can see that he's trying
the
really
writing is terrible.
But yeah, the film is so bad.
bad.
And the CGI is bad as well. I remember I was watching it with my sister and we just sort of turned to each other and at the same time we said it reminded us of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I had Shark Boy and Lava Girl on DVD with custom 3D
glasses. Yeah, we did as well.
Young...
Do you remember Spy Kids 3D as well?
Yeah. I remember the fucking Spy Kids. There's a really deep scene where... What's his face? Steve Buscemi is all like he creates something that he's afraid of. He's all like, do you think God stays in heaven because he's like afraid of what he's created?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's a kid's movie. But that being said, I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah. We actually sort of did this episode on a whim, so I didn't prepare a creative
I
challenge.
think it went okay. The whole episode because we made it up on a whim.
No, we were just sat in the living room. We were like, let's
Yeah,
record
yeah.
an episode.
Like saying that it was.
I didn't do any planning, so
saying that like we just came up with it on a whim. Like
yeah,
it came out much better than we.
yeah, because we were talking about how we might have to. It doesn't matter anyway. We were worried it wouldn't fill an episode basically, and here we are.
Yeah.
Nearly 2 hours later. So
there's, I don't know.
I don't want to say create your own superhero, but I don't know.
Recreate.
If you want to do that. Oh yeah, redesign Superman and make me like Superman.
Take any ridiculously named superhero, right, and like redesign him to look badass.
Yeah,
like Squirrel Girl, like make her become this big, like 10-foot tall feral buff squirrel or something like that, you know. And audio guys, I guess make like a superhero theme or something like.
Send us your best impression of Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, write a theme in Hans Zimmer style. That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
And if you don't know how to do that, he has a course. I forgot on what website, but it was about how
It's expensive.
it's like 90 quid. It's not that expensive.
Okay.
I'd pay like 900 quid to just be able to listen to him talk about his creative process and how to write score for films, for cinematic experiences. So yeah, if you buy that, if you got the money. If not, then just try your best. It's probably not that hard. Yeah.
Probably not that hard.
No.
You just diss your idol.
No, he's brilliant, right? But I mean, it's probably not that hard to take like 5 of his tracks, listen to them by ear a few times, and write down what you hear.
Yeah.
Like structure of the song, what keys in, stuff like that, and then come up with a song based around that. Yeah. It's probably much more complex to get his whole, composition style down.
Mm-hmm. If that sounds like too much of a challenge, which for me it does, I'd say look back at like old superhero themes like Spider-Man and Superman Returns, stuff like that. There's this very specific sound to superhero soundtracks that you only hear in superhero movies. I guess try and be inspired by that, and then send us like a 30-second.
You mean like a lot of trumpet sounds?
Yeah, very heroic.
Probably
it rises up and
E major scale.
Yeah,
like
lots
that.
of ik basara basara.
Yeah. Or remix the X-Men cartoon series.
Oh my god, yes!
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, that's the creative challenges.
Yeah, I think we're good to wrap things up for now.
If you're working on
of course. If you're working on something while listening, tweet it at us. And we didn't even say where to tweet the creative works.
Well, we're going to say it now. So
yeah,
if it's still, I'm opening the
at UT2cast on Twitter. Check out our website as well, ut2cast.podbean.com.
Yes.
Okay, now we can wrap up.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We really appreciate that.
And we'll catch you in the next episode.
Goodbye.